New York City's mayor has been calling the leaders of Texas and other border states cowards and calloused for sending illegal migrants to New York and D.C.
Our country is home of the free, land of the brave. We do not become cowards and send people away that are looking for help. All of us came from somewhere, even from Texas. They came from somewhere. And so they should not have sent people away that were seeking refuge.
It's kind of funny that the mayor of New York, mayor of D.C., looking for federal help to deal with the left's immigration policy. Well, here now to talk about this and more is one of the leading states that is pushing back, and that is the Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. Ken, welcome back to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me back.
All right, so you've got the mayor of New York and the mayor of the District of Columbia complaining because you're bussing up the illegal immigrants that are coming across the border that they say they're all for.
You know, it's almost laughable if it weren't so serious for our state. They are experiencing a tiny fraction of the problem, and they're complaining about the cost. They have no sympathy for the fact that our border is being overrun, and Texas and Arizona and other states along the border have a much more serious problem, not just with dealing with the cost of the people, but dealing with drugs, dealing with crime, dealing with just the resources that it takes to try to handle the situation. And it's just so ironic and so hypocritical that they are complaining about their tiny little problem.
Yeah, I mean, I want to kind of put this in perspective because in New York City, they've recently received about 2,800 individuals that have been sent up to New York, given transportation up to New York. That's a tiny fraction of what some of these small cities along the border and towns are experiencing from those coming across the border illegally.
We probably in Texas receive as many a day since Biden's been in office as they've received the entire time. So their 2,800 number is laughable in comparison to the numbers that we are dealing with. You're right. Some of these little tiny towns like literally have 36,000 people in them, or 30,000 people are experiencing that many in a day. So it's hard to be very sympathetic, and it's interesting that they have no sympathy for our problems and have been very critical of us and how we're dealing with it.
Well, I actually think this is illustrating the significance of the problem because when you have the mayor of D.C. whining about needing federal resources and calling out the National Guard simply to deal with a few busloads of migrants that have come up to D.C. From border states, it does speak to how significant this problem is. And maybe, I'm not overly optimistic, but maybe the federal government might respond.
I wish that were true, but they seem to respond only to these states that are complaining, like the Democratic states, who have a very minor problem. If they wanted to stop this, or if they wanted to deal with this, the Biden administration would actually follow the law, just like Trump did, and the results would be similar to what Trump had, as opposed to what we're getting now. So my view of this is exactly what they want. They just don't want it inconveniencing some of their party leaders, some of their Democratic leaders. They only want it to affect Republican states.
But I do think, General Paxton, that as this, in fact, you see the mayor of New York, pleading with, hey, this is going to affect your block and your neighborhood. We've got to be good citizens. We've got to embrace those that are coming here. I actually think when this starts to affect the average American, like they are, like the Texans are being affected, like those in Arizona that are being affected, I believe at that point, even the Democratic base will begin to demand that this administration and the Democratic regime do something.
You know what? I really hope you're right. It just has been so incredibly frustrating to see the incredible consequences to my state and other states along the border, and yet no reaction from the White House other than to say we want more and tell the cartels, signal to the cartels, just bring as many as you can. It's fine if you bring them to.
Yeah, I think we may have lost the Attorney General. He's on the road there in Texas, probably going from one city to another.